Well, hey fans, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spoilers, and today we're talking spoilers for Peacemaker. Now, Peacemaker is the first DCEU television series. It is a spin-off slash sequel to The Suicide Squad, and it takes place after Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, gets out of the hospital and returns home to think he's actually free, but it turns out that Amanda Waller has plans for him to stop an alien invasion by butterfly-like alien creatures. And overall, it is an enjoyable season. I believe I gave it a 3.9 out of 5 over on the blog, and go ahead and check out my review there. But yeah, it was enjoyable to get to know a lot of Peacemaker's backstory. We get to find out about his dad, his brother, and how his dad and his friends used to make him and his brother fight and like pay to see who would win, just like for some kind of fun sport. And one time, Peacemaker clocked his brother in the head, and it caused him to have a seizure, and his older brother died. Very tragic, and that is supposed to be the moment where he's like, okay, I'll do anything for peace. It doesn't really fit in terms of why he would want peace. I feel like something like that would make him be non-combative, but it also extends to him wanting to please his father, and a lot of it plays into it. Now his father is actually an interesting character, because his father, and it's a little weird. His father was a supervillain known as White Dragon, this racist supervillain who only killed like black people, Jewish people, communists, any of that race stuff. But we don't get like a lot of. We just know he was a supervillain, but now he's out living a normal life. He used to be in the military beforehand, so we're led to believe maybe the only reason he's out is because he had some kind of secrets, or something like that. Or maybe he served his time and got out. We don't really know exactly what kind of supervillain he was. And it also is kind of alluded to he could have actually just been like a racist superhero, maybe, or anti-hero or something like that. So we don't know why he's out. We know he served time before. By the way they speak of him, that supervillains are supposed to be in like a special jail, but there are apparently so many of them in jail now they have to just put him in regular jail. But yeah, it's a little weird. He has a quantum compartment that he keeps all of his gear in. That you gotta suspend disbelief that he's able to build this unless he's super smart. And if he is super smart, it's like there's a lot more stuff he should be doing. Because he builds all of Peacemaker's tech, and by tech, pretty much he makes all of his helmets, and each of his helmets has a different power, which in the Suicide Squad film, his helmet's just a helmet. I don't remember it having any power in that film. Just a beacon of freedom, as he said. But one I think he uses has like some kind of sonic boom that it emits and like kills anything within like, I don't know, a few feet of him or a few yards, whatever. One allows him to float. One gives him X-ray vision. One turns him into a human torpedo. One gives people within a 1 mile radius scabies, I think, and a few other helmets. And for me, the aspect of his helmets doing things I find very cool, and I think that makes him more of a threat as a. Well, he's not actually a villain, and even the way they talk about him in the show, Peacemaker was a hero, just a hero who killed bad guys. So I don't know why he was in prison, because Amanda Waller doesn't have any like Task Force X is supposed to be comprised of villains, and that way they're expendable. But if Peacemaker's a hero, why was he on the team and why was he in prison? We don't know why he was actually arrested, and what he did to get caught. So, yeah. But the aspect of his helmets I really enjoyed, and I hope in the next season that somehow they actually say, hey, we put all of the tech, since his dad is dead, they're like, hey, we put all the tech of all of your helmets into this one super helmet. So now you have this one helmet that can do multiple things. And I think that would make him a lot more efficient as a killer. And speaking of efficient killers, Freddie Stroma as Vigilante is the standout of the show. He's fantastic. He's hilarious. It's weird in the comics. Depending on which version of Vigilante you see, he has the power to heal himself from any injury. So that's what makes him, more combatively a threat. But in the show, he's just a normal guy. He actually went to high school with Peacemaker. He's a little bit younger than him, and he's just really good at using weaponry and killing. And he's clearly on the spectrum, either some form of Asperger's or autism or something of that nature, because he even states, he says, well, I don't process emotions like everybody else. And he's also crazy in that, like, if you break any law, he is willing to kill you over it. But other things he's concerned about, like, there are these veterinarians that they tie up, and he's like, we should tie them up, but we shouldn't use duct tape because it'll hurt their skin. And they're like, but you're gonna kill them anyway. Yeah, but I don't want to hurt them in that way. It's weird. Like, he's about to kill them, but he's concerned about their skin. But he is hilarious. I would have liked to have gotten more backstory on him, because he is said to have a brother as well, and his dad left the family when he was really young. But we don't know how he got his training. Um, so that is interesting, like how he became such an efficient killer. I really would like to know more about that. And back to the healing, like in the show, he does not have healing abilities, but every time he gets a serious injury, like either by the next episode or a couple episodes later, he's totally fine. Like when his pinky toe is half cut off by the Goth butterfly, he is limping for like an episode, and then next thing you know, he's totally fine. He survives that grenade blowing up. He gets shot all those times during the final battle, and he's healed. They don't exactly say how much longer, but yeah, he survives that. But overall, yeah, like I said, the show is enjoyable. The characters are great. Adebayo turns out to be Waller's daughter, which I mean, they explained that in like the first episode, and she has a different last name because she took her wife's last name. She is lesbian, and they make jokes about that all the time. And she picks on Peacemaker for not getting it and just being just a very, not like old fashioned guy, but rude or bro, whatever you want to call him. But speaking of Amanda Waller, they actually include an alternate scene in the opening of Peacemaker that they didn't have in Suicide Squad film, where like after, the team knocks her out and she wakes up and they have to take care of Peacemaker. In the beginning of this show, the girl who actually knocked her out is arrested and taken away. Now that is a great addition because, in my personal opinion, nobody in that room should have been alive after Amanda Waller was knocked out. That's the type of person she is. She will kill you over less. And the fact that she didn't kill all of them, or even by the end of the season that she didn't have them all killed, save for maybe her daughter, it just kind of it ruins that character for me personally. And I like James Gunn, but in terms of him changing that aspect about Waller, I like her as a darker character. That's just who she is. And depending on certain aspects in the comics, she lightens up later, but that's only after years of working with heroes and realizing that she doesn't have to be as hardcore. But I didn't really care for that, especially at the end when like her daughter outs all of the stuff that Task Force X and the government has been doing. Which means, is there going to be a Suicide Squad 3? We don't know now if they're outed as like this. I didn't like that aspect of outing Task Force X. Hopefully it's covered up. I mean, I guess we will find out during Peacemaker Season 2 or Suicide Squad 3 or whatever the DC's doing to move forward, because it seems like they don't really have a full plan. Because we get the Flash coming later this year, and it's supposed to reboot the timeline. While some things from the original Snyder films will stay, other things will change. Like Ben Affleck will no longer be Batman. Michael Keaton's going to be the new Batman. Superman, we have no idea about, but there will also be a Supergirl. There's a Batgirl. So yeah, like certain things are going to change, certain things are going to stay the same. It's either going to be good or bad. We don't know. My hopes aren't up too high. Uh, but back to Peacemaker, the alien invasion with the butterflies. It is a little weird that this is going on and no heroes know about it at all. I'm not gonna say it's a little weird. It's just like it. The fact that okay, I think this has to take place after the Flash because in Man of Steel, the Kryptonians coming to Earth is the first time we've seen any aliens. It's supposed to be the first time we actually know about aliens on Earth. That's why they treated Superman so hostile. But in the Suicide Squad, which is the sequel to Suicide Squad, Mongal's on it. Mongal is an alien. Her dad is Mongol. It's like, so did she come after, or did how long has she been in prison? That's information we don't know, and they just kind of leave it to just don't think about it. But yeah, you have these alien-like butterfly creatures whose plan is very similar to like the way Peacemaker thinks. They came to Earth because their planet was dying, and they see how humans treat the Earth, so they're like, okay, we will take over humans so that we can save the planet. And the thing about it is, Earth is a hospitable planet for them. They can survive here, but they can't survive without their like it's almost like honey. I think they call it like amber or something like that. But there's like an alien creature on their planet that they call the cow that produces this fluid that they need to eat to survive, and they bring it to Earth so they can keep surviving in their human bodies. But the thing about the cow is like they only brought one, and they're shown to be all over the planet. These butterflies taking over various government officials, but they only brought one. It is so you have to suspend so much disbelief to believe this alien race that is super intelligent that can create space travel only brought one thing that can keep them alive. It's just ridiculous and silly, and I think, and this is kind of where James Gunn fails. And not that it's like a complete failure, it's just not as good as it can be. Like what happened with Guardians 2, some of his jokes are too funny. Some things he's like, well, just go with it because, it'll make a good story. And I get that part. Like, okay, it'll make a good story, but come on, you have this bigger world you have to think of and the implications of what these butterfly aliens are doing. Uh, but yeah, another funny thing about butterflies, so when they inhabit human bodies, they get their memories and all that stuff. But like Peacemaker, I think in episode 1 or 2, he has sex with one of them, and it's like, do they just want to have sex with humans? Is that the thing? They don't find like other butterflies to do that with? It's it's a little weird that I don't know. I just don't feel like they were totally fleshed out. I think this was a one draft show and they really liked his version of Suicide Squad, and they told James Gunn, "Yeah, okay, here's a little bit more of the budget, make your Peacemaker show." And I feel like season 2 will be better because it'll be more thought out, and they'll actually will have a plan of where they're going with this universe moving forward. And I'll be happy to see where it goes. But yeah, like I said, the show was enjoyable. The characters are enjoyable. I didn't really enjoy everything. Annie Chang, she's another standout next to Freddie Stroma as Sophie Song, the detective. So upset when she got killed by Golf Butterfly, like, and he burrowed into her mouth. That was a very upsetting, sad scene. And Judo Master. Judo Master was very unnecessary in this season at all in the show. He does nothing but get beat up by Peacemaker. And I know it's just a kind of show that, even though he's a master of judo and martial arts, Peacemaker's bigger than him. He can't beat him. It was a good fight, but I just definitely didn't need Judo Master. And getting to something I thought was kind of funny, but also unnecessary, the Justice League cameo. Like, they have Superman, The Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman. No Batman, no Cyborg. We know the reasons why, but I feel like only The Flash and Aquaman talk. Just have those two appear. Just have those two appear if you're not going to include the entire Justice League. If the Batman and Cyborg are doing something else, I guess that could happen, but what's wrong with just having their silhouettes there? Or what's wrong with just recasting these actors? Or just moving forward and say, hey, Michael Keaton, will you cameo in this? Can we at least use your face or your outline for Batman? Yeah, just stuff like that. I feel like they could have done better. But that is it for me, guys. Remember, you can view this spoiler review on YouTube and the blog flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, everybody, hey, come here, listen. Make sure that you subscribe. Yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, everything. Make sure you like, comment, and share. The next episode of Let's Talk Spoilers will be The Batman. Luckily, I was able to get an advanced screening, and I should be able to get that out to you guys on time. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.